you know that nearly 80% of crushes never turn into a relationship? It's a wild statistic, but it's all too real. If you've ever been on that emotional roller coaster of being rejected by someone you really like, you're not alone. Stick with me as I break down the highs and the lows of having a crush and share the top 5 resilience tools that helped me bounce back from rejection stronger every time. Let's turn rejection into your superpower. From the moment we develop feelings for someone, our emotions are on 10. They're on high alert. We're talking butterflies, excitement, and that general feeling of euphoria. But what happens when those feelings aren't reciprocated? When the object of our affection rejects us? It can be a crushing blow that leaves us devastated. The emotional challenges that come with crushes and rejection are some of the most intense we'll ever face. It's a minefield of emotions where one wrong move can trigger a cascade of feelings that are hard to untangle and come out of. We're talking heartbreak, disappointment, frustration, and even self-doubt. It's no wonder many of us struggle to navigate these emotions and often find ourselves feeling lost and alone. For many of us, the fear of rejection is what holds us back from expressing our feelings in the first place. We're afraid of getting hurt, of being vulnerable, and of being rejected. But the truth is, rejection is an inevitable part of life, and it's how we respond to it that really matters. When we're rejected, it's like our whole world has come crashing down around us. We question our worth, our attractiveness, and even our identity. So how can we overcome these feelings of rejection and heartbreak? Is it even possible to move on from someone who we thought was the love of our life? The answer is yes. But it's not easy. It takes courage, resilience, and a willingness to face our emotions head on. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, happy to have you. I'm your host, Amanda Haynes. I drop videos every Wednesday and Sunday teaching you how to become your best self through resilience building, overcoming challenges, self-awareness, self-mastery, and self-compassion. I know what it's like to feel rejected. And today I want to walk you through 5 helpful tips on navigating and coping with the intense emotions that oftentimes come with rejection. I'm going to give you the top 5 tools I've personally used to build untouchable resiliency against rejection in all forms. I've experienced quite a bit of rejection in my life, some of which felt physically painful. I mean, there were moments when I was literally curled up in my bed in the fetal position, bawling my eyes out. I'll tell y'all about that later. These were pivotal moments for me because it helped me become aware of old wounds and patterns I hadn't healed and didn't even know existed. These experiences were stepping stones on my healing journey that propelled me forward in ways I couldn't have imagined at that time in the space I was in. I've done the work to heal the intense emotions and long-standing wounds that live within the pain of rejection. Let me help you navigate this tough time in your life with an intense amount of grace and compassion for yourself and where you are on your journey. Walk with me. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this resonates with you. When we first develop feelings for someone, it's like a roller coaster of emotions. We're excited, hopeful, and even a little scared. We imagine all the possibilities, from vacations to cozy nights at the crib. We picture ourselves with this person, building a life together and creating a future filled with love and happiness. We've literally already gotten married in our mind. And we're also careful not to do anything that's going to get in the way of this life we've built in our mind. But what happens when that doesn't happen? When the person we're crushing on rejects us, it's like a blow to the gut. We feel like we've been punched in the gut and all the air has been sucked out of us. As we navigate navigate these stages of emotion, from hope to excitement and from disappointment to healing. It's like we're on an emotional merry-go-round. We're constantly trying to process our feelings, making sense of what's happening, and find a way to move forward. It's a journey that's both painful and liberating, and one that requires us to be brave, vulnerable, and willing to take risks. I still remember the time I experienced gut-wrenching rejection. I was seeing someone who I thought I was going to marry. I honestly thought he was sent from God. Everything was going so well, and it felt like we were on a trajectory of really having something special. But after being ghosted, I was devastated. I felt like I was the only one in the world who had experienced rejection, and that everyone else was somehow immune to these feelings and experiences. I couldn't see past my pain. I thought it would never end and that I'd be stuck and alone forever. But as I looked around, I realized that I wasn't alone in my experience. Everyone else was going through their own struggles, their own heartbreaks, and their own rejections. That moment taught me a valuable lesson: that rejection is not a reflection of our worth, but rather a reflection of the other person's preferences. It's not about us, it's about them. And when we can finally grasp that concept, we can start to heal, move on, and find happiness again. It's not easy, but it's possible. Looking back on that experience, I realized it was a pivotal moment in my life. It taught me to go within myself, to look at the parts of me that felt defective and incomplete, looking for someone else to make me whole. I took a cold, hard look at my pain. I mean, I was already forced into feeling it. Might as well look around while I'm in the suck. As I was able to get some valuable insight from introspection and some relief, it taught me that rejection is not the end of the world, but rather a stepping stone to greater things. And it taught me that I am more than enough, no matter what anyone else thinks. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of why I'm sure you're here in the first place. How to navigate emotions that come from being rejected. I managed to heal my rejection wounds through shadow work. I know you're like, what the hell is that? Or maybe you've heard of it before. Shadow work involves exploring the hidden or unconscious parts of yourself, often referred to as the shadow. It's called the shadow because it's the parts of yourself you don't want you or others to see. So you unknowingly tuck it away in the deepest, darkest storehouse of your being. Shadow work is used to heal emotional wounds and integrate aspects of yourself that you may have suppressed or denied. When it comes to rejection or conditions like rejection-sensitive dysphoria, shadow work can help you understand and process deep-rooted fears and beliefs, driving your intense emotional reactions to perceived rejection. Here are 5 tips for using shadow work that helped me overcome rejection. Number 1, identify the origin of your fear of rejection. Reflect on past experiences. Take time to journal or meditate on past events that have contributed to your sensitivity to rejection. And these events have no statute of limitation. They can go as far back as you can remember. Are there specific moments, relationships, or childhood experiences where you felt particularly rejected or unworthy? Understanding where these feelings started can help you bring awareness to your triggers. When rejection wounds flare up, pause and ask yourself, when did I first feel this kind of rejection? Remember, when we feel intense hurt or pain as adults, the pain we feel oftentimes is a result of someone pouring salt on a pre-existing wound. This can help trace the emotion back to its roots and bring insight into why it feels so intense now. 2, confronting limiting beliefs. Write down negative beliefs. Ooh, this one is super helpful. Make a list of the negative beliefs you hold about yourself that come up during episodes of feeling rejected. For example, I am unlovable, I am not good enough, or I don't belong. These beliefs often reside in the shadow and influence how you react to perceived rejection. Challenge and reframe beliefs. For each negative belief, write down evidence that contradicts it. For example, list the times when you were accepted, loved, or appreciated. Another tool I've used is to fold a piece of paper in half. On one side, write down the negative beliefs you hold about yourself. On the other side, write the opposite of that belief. Look yourself in the mirror and read from the positive column. The first time I tried this, tears came pouring out. I hadn't spoken to myself this way before, and it was new, but my soul needed it. It needed to hear the truth that I am worthy. We all are. This process helps you start to dismantle the beliefs that fuel your sensitivity to rejection. 3, embrace your rejected self. Visualize your shadow self. In a quiet space, close your eyes and imagine the part of yourself that feels most rejected, unloved, or inadequate. See this part as a separate being or younger version of yourself. Approach it with compassion and curiosity rather than judgment. And just be with this part of yourself, observing and loving it. Dialogue with your shadow. Have an imaginary conversation with this part of yourself. Ask it what it needs, what it fears, and why it feels the way it does. Literally talk to yourself or think to yourself if you don't want to say it out loud. I know it sounds weird, just trust me. Offer it understanding and reassurance and let it know it's safe and accepted. 4, practice radical self-acceptance. Acknowledge all parts of yourself. Shadow work is about accepting all aspects of yourself, even those you find difficult or painful. For me, revisiting the times I felt rejected as a child and fully accepting that part of myself I had unknowingly tucked away helped me quickly recover from the devastating rejection I experienced with my crush. Remind yourself that your sensitivity to rejection is a part of you, but does not define your entire being. Affirm your worth. Use affirmations that acknowledge and accept all parts of yourself, including those that feel insecure or rejected. Phrases like, I am whole, even with my fears, or I accept all parts of myself, including my sensitivity, can help integrate your shadow self. Affirming yourself in front of a mirror is extremely powerful. 5, reframe your experience. Attaching ourselves to specific outcomes makes it difficult to see our lives working out beyond the picture we've created in our mind. Expand your perception beyond the outcome you've attached yourself to. Recognize everything is always working for your highest good. And if someone rejects you, it just means they aren't a part of your destiny and where you're headed. Rejection is just redirection. When we face rejection, it's not just a door closing, but a way of being steered toward a different, often better path. Instead of viewing rejection as a dead end, see it as a guiding force that leads you to new opportunities, growth, and possibilities that might align more closely with your true purpose or goals. As we navigate the journey from crush to rejection, it's easy to get caught up in our emotions. We feel like we're stuck in a never-ending cycle of heartbreak and pain. But the truth is, we have the power to break free from these feelings. We have the power to choose how we respond, to choose how we react, and to choose how we heal. And when we can finally let go of our feelings of rejection and heartbreak, we can start to heal, move on, and find happiness again. And that's it. That's the journey from crush to rejection and how to cope. It's not an easy journey, but it's one worth taking. So to all of you who are out there struggling with rejection, I see you, I hear you, and I feel you. Remember that you are not alone and that you are more than enough, no matter what anyone else thinks. And if you're feeling brave, share your own story in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. Subscribe for more videos where I teach you how to love yourself and become your best self through resistance building, overcoming challenges, self-awareness, self-mastery, and self-compassion. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And remember, you got this.